Manchester United had a very good summer transfer window, bringing in Casemiro, Lisandro Martinez and Antony, but more work needs to be done. There are still positions that Manchester United need to strengthen. Two areas where Manchester United need to improve is at striker and in midfield. Looking at the midfield first, Eriksen has been a very good buy on a free, but he doesn't have the physicality needed to be a box-to-box midfielder for Manchester United. Fred and McTominay, the other options in that position, just are not good enough, so United need to improve there. Moving forward into striker, this is where it gets very serious. Ronaldo left the club yesterday, of course, so Anthony Martial is the only number 9 at the club, and Anthony Martial, his injury record is just not good enough. Manchester United cannot rely upon him. For me, Moses Caicedo would be the realistic midfield signing Manchester United could make. We could have bought him a couple of seasons ago for around £3 to £5 million under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It didn't happen, it didn't work out that way unfortunately. He went to Brighton and he has absolutely smashed it. Playing as that sort of deeper lying 8, he could be very good in Tenhag's system. This of course would allow the likes of Luke Shaw and Diogo Dalot to bomb further forward. Caicedo is very athletic, he can cover those channel spaces very well. His passing numbers are fantastic as well, averaging around 51 passes per game, which is just 3 shy of what Jude Bellingham averages in a much per team. Brighton of course are not at Borussia Dortmund's level, as well as that a high pass percentage of around 88%. Moses Caicedo puts together 1.1 key passes per game, leading to shots on target, so he does have a very good pass in him. He can certainly break lines with his pass, which is very good when we come up against low blocks. This is something that we know Fred can't do and Scott McTominay can't do. They have very poor passing ranges and they don't play progressive passes. Caicedo can do that, and when we look at defensive numbers, he really does come into his own. Whenever we're looking at a midfielder putting up 3.1 tackles per game, 1.4 interceptions, he's outplaying Bellingham in a defensive sense. He's always matching him in terms of passes. He doesn't have the on-ball quality that Bellingham possesses, but it's just 21 and available for around £35 million. Moses Caicedo could be a very good option for Erik ten Hag to bring in as a squad player, help fill out that squad a bit more and really start to improve the levels, because whenever we're going from Fred and McTominay to Caicedo, that is a big upgrade in terms of squad balance and the overall depth of our team. We don't just need players, we need quality players. Moses Caicedo could be a very good signing for Manchester United. The dream signing in midfield has to be this man, it has to be Jude Bellingham. Look at these stats as well from this season. We're starting to see productivity from Bellingham that we hadn't seen before, certainly in terms of goals and assists. In 28 appearances this season, Bellingham has 10 goals and 4 assists, coming from a deeper midfield position where he's also controlling the game with his passes. He's also helping to be a defensive anchor in that midfield by having many tackles and interceptions per game. Bellingham's all-round game is absolutely superb, and his underlying numbers truly do support that as well. Bellingham typically averages 2 dribbles per match. He's averaging 1 key pass, leading to a shot on target for his teammates. Very good productivity in a creative sense there from Jude Bellingham, and in the ball progression sense. When we look at his passes, he's averaging 54 passes per game with 1.6 shots per game as well. So this certainly from an on-ball point of view highlights a player who is absolutely everywhere on the pitch. He is creating, he is having shots of his own, he is making many passes in the middle of the pitch. Borussia Dortmund are not a team who hold significant amounts of possession. They are a pressing side, as we know. So for Bellingham to register on average 54 passes per game is very positive stuff as well. Whenever we look at the defensive numbers from Bellingham, this truly just highlights the box to box, the all-round play that Jude Bellingham possesses. It is absolutely superb. Looking at 2.5 tackles per game and 1.3 interceptions per game, Jude Bellingham is winning the ball back for his team on average 4 times per game. He is creating a shot on target once per game. He is beating his man on the dribble twice per game. This guy at 19 is genuinely world class. There is no other superlatives to throw out there. It is a big term to throw out, but genuinely there are few players who are better than Jude Bellingham in football, let alone at his age. At 19, he is certainly the best young player in midfield in the world, in my opinion. He's better than the likes of Pedri, better than the likes of Jamal Musiala, Camavinga as well. For me, Bellingham is a complete package already, and I'm very excited to see where Jude Bellingham's career takes him next. He could be a fantastic option for us. As we know, with the Glazers potentially selling, maybe we will have a statement signing, and maybe that statement signing will be Jude Bellingham. When it comes to form players in Europe, there are not many players in better form than this man right here. A real must-watch for the Dutch national team. Cody Gakpo, absolutely sensational so far for club and country this season. We've seen him score against Senegal in the World Cup just the other day. We've seen him score so many times for PSV this season. In 30 appearances, he has 16 goals and 18 assists. Absolutely elite numbers from Cody Gakpo. As we know, players from the Dutch league can make the transfer over to the Premier League. Cody Gakpo could be a no-brainer signing for Manchester United. Coming in at around £40 million, this could be a deal Manchester United could do very, very easily. Cody Gakpo also shares an agent with Erik Tenhag, so that as well will no doubt help any potential deal. Obviously the good relationship between Tenhag and his own agent, perhaps we could see a deal done very quickly for Cody Gakpo. When we look at his stats, they are absolutely fantastic. There are genuinely very little players outside of perhaps Messi, Mbappe and Neymar putting up creative stats such as this in Europe. Cody Gakpo averages 2 dribbles completed per match, so he's beating 2 players on the dribble in a game. He's also averaging 4.2 key passes per matches, which is absolutely elite level creativity. So key passes, of course, as we know, are passes that lead directly to a shot on target. Cody Gakpo could be looking at potentially 4 assists per game at that ratio, which is absolutely sensational stuff. When we look at overall passes, only 26 per game. That highlights the quality of Cody Gakpo's passes and where he's playing his passes. His passes are going forward, they are to find his man in the box. That is Cody Gakpo's range of passing. When we're looking at shots as well, 3.6 shots, so this is a guy massively involved in his team for both club and country in terms of creating and scoring. Cody Gakpo is an all-round phenomenal player, an absolutely sensational talent. At just 23, the skilling is the limit for Cody Gakpo. He genuinely could be a very, very special player. Looking as well, we're seeing 3.7 crosses. Something I noticed a lot whenever watching Gakpo play for the Netherlands was his ability on the ball to put good crosses in from corners, from free kicks and from wide positions. This is something our forwards don't do particularly well. Our fullbacks are usually the best crossers for Manchester United. Gakpo could add a very different dimension to that team. I always think it's very important to look at the areas where strikers operate on the pitch. Cody Gakpo, of course, traditionally left winger, but more and more this season we've seen him play through the middle, especially for the Netherlands and for Ruud van Nistelrooy's PSV Eindhoven. When we look at his stats, he's averaging 2.6 shots per game in the penalty box in the league, which is very, very good. Now whenever we look at the 6-yard box, however, it's 0.2, so that suggests a player who is available for cutbacks to the penalty spot. That is that prime sort of area. Now Manchester United need a player in those positions. Far too often we see Marcus Rashford not be in the right position. Ronaldo has drifted left and right too often this season. United need a player firmly in the middle, playing between the goals as such, to be available for cutbacks and crosses. So Gakpo is available for crosses. He could work for headed chances as well. Of course, 0.2 in the 6-yard box. We need to see more shots in that sort of region for Cody Gakpo. That's where strikers pick up their goals. You watch Erling Haaland play football, his goals are coming in that 6-yard box. Whenever a striker gets a shot off in the 6-yard box, it is a massive opportunity to score. So obviously that is something that Cody Gakpo will have to work on if he is to be an elite level player. The dream signing for me up front would be Lisandro Martinez from Inter Milan, an absolutely fantastic striker at 25 years old. He is coming into the prime years of his career. He is definitely a player to watch out for the Argentinian national side at the World Cup. Definitely a very, very dangerous player and would be a fantastic striker from Erik Ten Hag's Manchester United. This season, Lisandro Martinez has played 23 matches. He has 9 goals and 7 assists, playing in a league that isn't known for high goal scoring matches. 9 goals is a very good return so far. There's definitely a very strong creative element to Lisandro Martinez as well, with 7 assists. Whenever we look at the actual underlying stats, he's averaging 0.8 dribbles per game, which is fairly standard for a striker playing with the back to goal. He is a very strong physical player. He can bring others into play, of course. Lisandro Martinez averages 18 passes per game, which is fairly low, but for a striker that is still a decent amount. Whenever we look at key passes per game, 1.6, and we're looking at 3.4 shots per game. So what does that suggest to me? It shows a player who, whenever he gets the ball, he does make things happen. He has a low amount of passes per game, which is expected of a striking option, especially an out-and-out number 9 like Lisandro Martinez. But when he gets the ball to feet, he is creating things for his team. Almost 2 passes per game are leading to a shot on goal. This comes from 18 total passes on average. So Lisandro Martinez, definitely a player who can do things with the ball at his feet. A very good finisher. He does look to get his shots off early and shoot often. This is something we want to see from a Manchester United striker. Far too many of our striking options and our forward options are hesitant to pull the trigger. Lisandro Martinez has no such hesitation. He will pull the trigger, he will go for goal, and more often than not, Lisandro Martinez finds the goal. When looking at the shooting positions for Lisandro Martinez, we look at a player who is definitely getting into very, very promising positions. For me, 3 times more shots in the 6-yard box than Cody Gakpo is a very positive sign of a striker who knows where the ball is going to drop and he can get those goals. We're looking at a player shooting on average the same amount of times within the box as well. 1.9 shots per match are coming within the 18-yard box. This is higher probability of scoring. That is exactly what you need from your number 9. You need your number 9 to be in the box, in that 6-yard box, looking for rebounds, getting on the edges, cutbacks, and putting the ball in the back of the net. Lisandro Martinez for me is a deadly finisher, a very, very good player, a very good presser, a very aggressive striker, and he will be perfect for Erik ten Hag's system. So yes guys, those are the 4 players I think Manchester United could target to improve the weaknesses in our squad. Of course, more players will be needed. Right backs, for instance, will be another position where we need to strengthen. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Who would you sign for Manchester United to improve that team? What striker, what midfielder would you like to see at United? As always, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you enjoy the content here on the channel, and I will see you in the next one.